Welcome to the one and only Tattoo Podcast Interviews. I'm your host, John.
And I'm your co-host, Sadie.
And to our guest today, his name is Ken. Ken, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Sadie.
Really appreciate you coming out here, Ken. So on this show, we really kind of dive deep. You know, we like to get it for the viewers to understand kind of who we brought on the show. Ken, if you wouldn't mind, give us kind of a rundown of, you know, how you got your start in life and where you're from.
Well, I was born in Salt Lake City. I'm 57 years old, and we did a lot of bouncing back and forth between Idaho and Utah, and yeah.
So you was born there, and then let's see, was you born into a large family? Are you the first of any siblings, or the last? Where do you fit in the lineup?
Well, I was the youngest in my immediate family, and then later down the road, well, I guess I'm still the youngest, but I discovered I had a new sister a couple of years ago.
Oh.
That was pretty exciting. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah.
So how many siblings did you grow up with?
4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay. Brothers, sisters?
Brothers. I had a brother, 2 sisters, and there was always another kid hanging around.
Okay.
You know.
So your house was a little bit like the community haven, or what?
At times.
That's cool.
When it came around. Yeah.
So you're, you're seasoned.
I'm
So back then, you know what I mean, in the
Utah. Yeah.
Utah. So
Yeah,
back in
yeah.
Utah, where you're from, what was it like back then growing up?
Well, Utah was pretty cool. We had 4 seasons. You know, we went to Salt Flats sometimes, and I don't know if you've ever been there, but
I've heard of it. Do you guys do racing, or just went out there and
just
checked
went
it
out there and kicked around, floated in the water. It's
Okay.
you're pretty buoyant in it, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you get all covered with
So
white.
you're not originally from Spokane, then? What brought you to Spokane, and how old were you when you came this way?
Well, Mom grew up in Wallace, so
Wallace, Idaho?
yeah.
Okay.
So we bounced a lot between Utah and Wallace.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
For you guys that don't know much about Wallace, I'll tell you that me and my wife, we enjoy driving
Yeah.
through Wallace. It's a nice little historic town, and I mean it's small. It's a great town,
Lots of
and we got
memories
some memories there. But Ken is kind of aware of another side of Wallace that I've never really heard about. Wallace has kind of got some history. You want to elaborate?
So back in the day, the highway used to run through Wallace. You know, it was like one of 2 stoplights on the whole damn road there.
Right.
And so we had a lot of business coming through. They had some cat houses set up there in town, and some illegal gambling going around, and it was pretty lively. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. So ladies of the night type.
Ladies of the night, yeah,
Okay.
they were all very respectful, clean, well taken care of, you know.
You sound like you was a customer.
Never a customer, never a customer.
I mean, you're giving them a shout out, you know what I mean?
Well, you know, it's the truth, you know.
Oh, in
You know.
theory.
Yeah.
It's okay, man. So you heard that they're nice, and you heard that they're clean, and you heard that they're respectable.
Yeah.
From a friend.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
From a friend.
All right, so, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, all right, Ken, let's try to be honest for the rest of the podcast, huh? No,
Yeah.
No, so you're living the life out in Wallace with your folks, and then you find that there's a little bit of seedy history.
Pretty city. Mom worked at a bar. We lived above a bar.
Okay.
And we had backroom gambling there. And, you know, so I got to see a lot of different stuff going on. Barroom brawls.
I was
Right.
literally imagining like a barroom brawl, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you guys would be sitting there just hanging out, and all of a sudden you'd hear whiskey glasses bashing,
Oh, yeah.
and some girl fainting on the piano keys.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
shit.
yeah, well, you know, there's a lot of miners there. They work hard, and
Right.
when they're off.
Oh, see, I thought you were talking about
Party
P.
hard,
Diddy
too,
party.
You know, yeah.
Oh, different kind of miner. A lot of miners there. Hey, man, I'm trying to keep my channel up, dude. Like, he's talking about people that have pickaxes and hard hats, and they actually mine minerals.
Silver.
Yeah.
Lots of silver to come out of it.
Yeah. Okay. You know, with the P. Diddy thing going on, you have to be very, very
Yeah.
explanatory. You have
It's
to
a
explain
slippery
yourself very
slope.
clearly when it comes to minors. Okay, so we had the minors with the coal lamps and all that type deal.
Yeah, back in the day probably. Yeah, in the way back when they sent in a bunch of army guys up there to start setting up and digging for silver and stuff. You know, the war was going on.
So they had precious metals in Wallace.
Yeah,
Okay.
precious metals, gold, silver, zinc, ore,
Okay.
you know, stuff. And so it was a pretty popular area. It grew fast, grew hard like a boom town.
Right.
You know.
And then they'd shoot it up like termites and then nothing left type deal?
Yeah, well, kind of. But
Okay.
the mining kept going on, and
So there was money
Yeah.
there, so that
Lots of
brought the ladies of the night and
Ladies
the
of the night.
what's up with the doors in between places?
gambling, backroom gambling. You know, because gambling's illegal.
Yeah.
You know, in some areas of the world.
Do you think there was an underbelly in that town, or do you think it was just ran with nobody really running the show, or? You said something about little stickers. You don't want to speak on it. He said, well,
I'm sure there was an organization going on. You know,
right.
Everybody got a little piece of the pie.
Right.
Oh, okay.
You know, sure,
Right.
sure. You know, and even the brothels they donated to the schools. They bought sports equipment
Right.
Okay.
and helped keep the area clean and.
Man,
Food
that's
banks,
what's up.
you know.
Yeah. Way to share your
Yeah.
earnings from your
Yeah.
job.
You gotta give a little to get some.
Yeah, give a little cash to get some smash, I guess.
Right.
So, yeah, Wallace. What's your favorite thing about Wallace, Mama, when we came through Wallace? Is that where we had the mishap with the cash and all? Oh, tell Ken a little bit about our Wallace experience. One of them. We have some great Wallace
We have a
experiences.
couple, but that experience it's the pandemic. We were on our way to Hungry Horse, Montana to stay out in the family's cabins.
Love the
I
rivers.
was 4 weeks out of having my daughter, and she was very young, and I was terrified considering, we couldn't even get a bag of rice in the stores. So it was a little much to deal with. So we packed up and hit the road and went to Montana, of course, because, Montana's gonna be some sort of better.
Hiding in the woods was our theory. But
Yeah, you know what I mean? And we stayed at that hotel on the way there and packed up the next morning to leave.
we literally had taken
Brand new
everything we
mother,
had
already
with us.
had a kid with me.
So
like,
every dollar, every dog,
Yes.
everything.
everything. And I had like, what, 5, 6, 7 grand in my wallet?
Yeah,
something
every
like
dollar
that. Yeah.
to our name.
And we took off and hit St. Regis.
We made it to St. Regis
Yeah,
to
and
that fill-up station
stopped
there.
to get gas and went to grab my wallet and couldn't find my wallet. So
Oh, shit.
we're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I call the
Yeah.
hotel, and
Middle
the
of the
hotel
pandemic.
says, no, we didn't find no wallet. We already went and checked the room. So I called the cops.
Yeah.
And I said I was just at a hotel room. I had at least $7,000 to $8,000 in a wallet, whatever it was. And they're saying it's not there, but I know for a fact it's there because it's not with
Right.
me, and that's the last place I was at. I never stopped anywhere else. And so they went there, and all of a sudden the wallet was found, and and he had enough gas in his bike because he was on a bike, I was in a car, to go and get the wallet. So he went and got the wallet. But either way, the cops still filled up both of our vehicles.
Yeah, that
Wow.
was crazy, man.
For
The owner
us,
was there.
even though the owner of the gas station was
Right.
like, the reason why the cop was there because he was like, these motherfuckers. But yeah, you know what I mean? The cop ended up helping us and was like, calm down, bro. Like, they're just people riding through.
No,
they won't bug you.
it was definitely an experience.
It was,
but,
it was. But they got good restaurants there. We went to a bar there one time.
So is there anything else about Wallace you think we should know about? How bad does it snow there? Because I never really go there in the middle of the winter. Is it like one of them 5 feet deep spots? It seems like it would be,
Boy, back when I was a kid, it was pretty deep.
right?
You know, especially up in the canyon area.
Oh yeah.
Hear that? 237
Yeah.
years
Kind
ago.
of
it
like in
used
the
to get
middle
deep.
of the whole shit, you know?
237.
It's got all of it,
Yeah.
all the mountains
Yeah.
and stuff around it.
Right.
So check it out. You said you like Hungry Horse, Montana. You have some experience out there?
Oh yeah, we used to live up Great Falls, Kalispell.
Oh, I've been to Kalispell as well. I lived there for a while.
Had an uncle living in Whitefish.
I got in trouble in Whitefish.
Yeah, that happens there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we have some stomping ground history together. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know the Blue Moon Tavern?
Oh man, I beat a couple of rednecks up in there.
Yeah.
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 You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was.
What one is that?
Yeah.
It's the one on the corner, right? It's across street between Whitefish, Columbia Falls, and Kalispell.
Yeah.
Oh, that lone wolf one.
No. It's the Blue Moon. It has a huge, full stuffed mount of like a polar bear in there or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We-
or
we had
grizzly bears or something.
Big
Yeah.
barbecue there, big biker party one time there.
Yeah.
And we're all having a good time, and suddenly this guy starts yelling at his old lady, and he starts shooting her up in the air, you know, and people just scatter, you know. And he rolls outside, and then everybody goes inside and closes the door, you know. Nah, we're safe, you know. And he gets all pissy about it, and starts shooting into the bar,
Wow.
you know. It's like, whoa, shit, here we go. you
What
know.
year was this?
80, 86, 87
Oh wow.
maybe.
Okay.
Wow.
And
Wow.
yeah, so we all made nice to him, you know. His old lady's like, oh, just come on in, it'll be cool, you know. Take me home, I had enough of this, you know. And you know, the moron comes rolling into the biker bar, and I'm sorry, honey, I love you. And he got
You got the Montana welcoming, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't met too many tough dudes in Montana, but they'll jump you at least.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
I'm gonna have some UFC fighter that was born in Montana.
Trying to fight you, you know?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Come on, old man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you already know. Yeah.
I'll still whip your ass. No, I'm kidding.
I'll help you.
So you're living out there, and you went to work. What brought you out to Montana? Just hanging out with random family
Yeah,
members?
my dad lived out there, so I went out there and hung out there.
That's
for a
weird.
while.
That's what brought me to Montana.
Yeah.
I think they get old before we do, so they want to go see like the last frontier,
Right.
and then
right.
you have to go there to see them.
No, Montana's the
Yeah.
best place
So
to
you
retire.
go visit your dad that lives in Montana, and you end up moving too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was my story.
Yeah,
You know?
it was real Montana back then, you know.
So you had mentioned before that you was living at a house with a certain smell. You want to elaborate on that?
Oh yeah, so we're living on the west side, Spokane here.
West side of Spokane.
And,
What year is it? We can do the stoner version. We
Yeah.
can give like
It was a while back,
85,
you know.
6, 7, 8,
Yeah.
9, 92.
It was 90s, 92.
Okay, yeah.
It was still a little
That's how my
rough.
brain works, man.
Still a little rough. There was still some gang action kicking off.
Okay.
You know, a few gunshots in the west. You know, it's the west. You gotta have it. you know.
So he was here for the first 2 gunshots in Spokane, is what he's saying.
Yeah. But I was here when they were still paying the toll to cross the bridge,
What
Oh, wow.
bridge?
Maple Street Bridge.
No
Wow.
shit.
Yeah. So it was 10 cents to go one way and 5 cents to come back. you know.
Wow.
And they steadily raised it. Yeah.
I wish they would have put that money in potholes.
Right.
For real.
Do not come to
Fuck.
Spokane unless you have tire coverage, because you are gonna definitely need it.
Yeah, we
So-
all
so
we
anyway.
cruise over there to get our weed. You know, we have to sneak down the cars because they're all shooting, and you know you're as afraid as the cops as you are the gang guys. You know, it's
Right.
like, oh shit, gotta get my weed and get out of here. You know.
Yeah, it was crazy back in the day trying to get a bag of weed.
Yeah. Well, during COVID, I went and got some lobster rolls, and it was an online thing. You know, I ordered them up, and he's like, "Oh, I'm on the west side." I'm like, "Oh, here we go." You know.
Right.
So I cruise down there, and I go past Bongs and to those little buildings. Like I'll be on this corner there. Just when you get there, text me. So I text him, and he comes stepping out of the door, and he kind of looks both ways a little bit, and walks across the street and does the handoff to me, and I'm having flashbacks.
You're waiting for cops to hit you because you
and
just bought too many lobster
Right.
rolls. Yeah. So let's get back to that house real quick. So you're living at this house. How long did you live at the house?
We lived there about almost a whole year.
So just an in and out move?
Yeah.
So what was wrong with the place that you had to move?
Well, I was kind of starting over, kind of separated from the
So you started in a shitty spot and was
Right.
doing the upgrade move?
upgrade move. My chef at the time, he had a place to rent, and I went ahead and rented it from him.
Okay.
You know, so and West Side is kind of crazy. The house was empty for a little while, so the first week or so, you're living with your baseball bat, and
Right.
they come rolling in, and you're like,
You're new to the neighborhood. You don't know who's sleeping in there.
Yeah. You have to clear out house a few times. And, no, you can't buy your shit here, man. This isn't it.
Right.
And
Got people knocking for the last guy that lived there.
Yeah, it's crazy. 2 doors down from Bongs, it's a hot spot. And
So you're living there, and about
Living
how
there.
long are you living there before you start sniffing around?
it was about 2 months or so, I'm thinking, all right, let's clean this place up, Yeah, we got kids and we kind of want to do the garden thing. And so we started cleaning up a little bit. There was a car parked on this mound of leaves, and underneath the mound of leaves was like some more debris, like maybe a carpet and, just some stuff stacked on top of it, and just a pile of shit sitting there. And so I got rid of the car, and we cleared off some leaves a little bit, and then winter came, and so we're done cleaning the backyard for a while, and spring comes along, and we're like, all right, let's start doing this. So we planted a little garden off the side there, and I'm going to go rent a truck to go to the dump, and I get stoned and pass on that for a little while. And I get a job offer on the coast. I take off to the coast and get the job, and I come back, and we're preparing to move. I get the U-Haul, and we back it all in there. And the whole time that the smell is just reeking bad, I've spent time moving garbage cans back and forth, thinking it's got to be in the garbage cans,
Right.
And so I'm ninjaing around in the alleys, switching out garbage cans. It was just horrible, and I kept telling the boss about it, and he got tired of hearing about it, so he just sold the house, But there you go, Yeah, so it's now somebody else's problem, and we got a little discouraged about it, and that was part of the decision in moving. So we get the truck all loaded up, and coming outside, I noticed all these officers kicking around, and I'm like, what is going on? And they got their little space suits on.
So you're just walking outside to go to the grocery store, or this is you backing out to move away?
Yeah, well, I'm walking out to the truck to close up the truck.
So this is it, like
This is the big
yeah.
right here.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say it looks bad.
It does. It looks really bad,
Yeah.
And I got a little history there.
So what happens? So they're
And,
walking up.
Yeah, they're walking up, and I'm like, oh, what are you guys here for? And nothing new really. There's lots of cop action, and they're like, well, we're here to check out this place. And I'm like, well, we're moving, and you got to tell me why you're here. You're here to arrest me, or what's going on? You got a warrant? And they're like, nope, we're here looking for evidence. And the detective walks up to us, and he starts telling me about how they had arrested this guy in this thieving ring going on, this Russian thieving ring.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, so we got him in the interrogation room, and he goes, so we know what you did, but if you come clean and you tell us what you did, you can work a deal,
Mm-hmm.
sell us out some names. And
The good old, what would you like to drink with that?
yeah.
Sounds like this Russian guy's about to get a Big Mac and some French fries.
Yeah, he's not gonna rat his buddies out.
Yeah. Told you.
So he pops off and he goes, well, I killed the guy, I did it. I cut his head off.
So he just told on himself.
Yeah.
Okay, that's different.
Right?
Yeah, say.
And yeah, he's telling all this, and I keep watching, and the news people are pulling up, and newspaper people, and I think it was Channel 4 or somebody like that.
So the cops, this evidence they are looking for, do they find it?
Yeah.
What'd they find?
They found the a body. It was rolled up in the rug that was underneath the
Wow.
leaves, right? And it was rank when they mucked it off, you know. And I had to move the U-Haul because the U-Haul was over the top of it.
Yeah.
and
Wow, this is looking good for you, bro.
No,
Any time
no.
were you questioned or are you
Yeah,
arrested?
oh
or
yeah,
anything?
they're like, so did you realize? And I'm like, well, it stunk really bad, you know. And I told them the story of the garbage cans and how we were going to do the garden, and just kind of never really got around to it because it
I'm
stank.
super glad that you never tried to be in the homicide investigative crew, and you would have
Yeah.
definitely been in the wrong field.
Yeah.
You park a truck on a dead body and just looking around at
Hey.
trash cans like, I don't know.
Don't ask no questions. It's rolled up. It's covered. I don't know anything.
This is a rough ass part of town, man. He's like, we park on bodies around here. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
well, it
saying?
was. You know,
Holy, you know what I'm saying?
You know, during the
Man,
time we lived there, some kid got shot. You know.
I mean, they shoot kids, park on bodies. Where's this at?
West side of Spokane.
West Side, Spokane. Yeah, holy.
Yeah, it was a fun
Okay.
area, you know. Got a little knife fight going to work one night. That was a great time.
Like little tiny knives, or what are you talking
No,
about?
it was a pretty big knife, you
Just
know.
fucking with you.
Yeah, and so
You bring your little knife, I got my little knife. You ready?
so he's and the gentleman had thrown the head of the guy up in the front part of the house in the basement, the unfinished part of the basement, you know, and I'm like, no way, you know. I was like, we tried to go down there one time and fix the water heater,
And it stunk too bad.
and no, it just freaked me out. I was like, I ain't going down there.
So you
You know,
felt like
yeah.
maybe a presence?
Oh, definitely. It was
Wow.
like,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
I ain't going down there.
Wow.
Yeah,
So the guy did the
I don't go in
crime.
basements either, no matter
Yeah.
what. So
yeah.
shit's
Right.
scary.
Yeah. Not to mention what lives down there. You know, Jesus.
So the guy actually executed the crime on the property there?
Yeah, I think so.
Jeez,
so.
do you know the guy's name?
No.
I guess we're gonna have to get somebody on the internet to try to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Tag it
It's
in the
there.
comments, man, if you guys
It's there.
figure it out. You know what I mean?
2024 West Boone was the address. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird what stains your brain, huh? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For real. That's an address you'll never forget for the rest of your life.
So yeah. So the reason he cut the head off is because it was poking out of the rug. You know.
Wow.
Yeah. Apparently the guy he took out was messing with his ex-girlfriend's kid, so he
Wow.
busted in the house and
Wow.
So I got a little bit of a match story, somewhat anyway. I don't quite remember this guy's first name, but I remember his last name was Showalter. Jimmy, actually. It was Jimmy Showalter. So this guy, I think I was 17 years old, so I believe it was 97, okay, the year Mama was born. But I was 17 years old, and this guy showed up to a house that I was at, and I remember him because the job he had was a little odd. He was the guy who filled the claw machine with teddy bears.
oh wow.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So he hustled those teddy bears, you know. So he showed up at this house. It was just before Christmas, and he showed up with basically Santa Claus's sack full of these teddy bears, and he was, you know, hustling them off. You can get them for like $1 a piece, or if you bought this many, it was out. You know what I mean? He was stealing from the company that he was working for.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's how I met him. So definitely didn't meet him on anything that would give you a vibe that this guy was dangerous. He sells teddy bears. You know what I'm saying? Well, the next time I heard about Jimmy, he was on his way to prison for murder. And the story behind that goes, I guess him and a couple friends lived up in some California mountain town. And one of them friends ended up getting a Social Security back paycheck. And, you know, to a group of 3 men that none of them have an income, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're all hustling teddy bears and doing whatever the hell they're doing, right? You know what I mean? So not a real stable life environment. And one of these guys come into a Social Security back pay, which is probably a few $1,000s at minimum, you know?
Oh yeah.
And they have the wise decision to buy a bunch of dope.
Well yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cocaine
And
hookers.
they have this, yeah, you know what I mean? They have this crazy party until it's gone, you know? And the way the story was told was Jimmy and this other guy decided that when the guy who had the party was lying about being out, that's what they thought, Oh, you got any more? No, I'm out, man. Oh, man, you just don't want to share anymore. You know what I mean? So him and that guy conspired to basically kidnap the dude and beat him up and rob him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's weird that you said carpet or whatever, because at the time, I was 17 years old. I was working a job with a guy who had a construction business, and I was just his young grunt. You know what I mean? And we had done a bunch of hotel carpets. Like he would get these jobs at the Motel 6. They'd want every room changed. The carpets, right? So we're sitting at this guy's house one day, and the cops are walking up to the door. And when the cops get to the door, you know what I mean? It's not my business, so I'm just listening, But they want to know if we've ever seen this carpet, and they got pictures of carpet, And we don't know what's going on, you know what I mean? So the guy I work for, he's very cooperative. He says, yeah, I've actually seen that carpet before. I pulled that carpet out of hotel rooms on Watt Avenue in Sacramento, California.
Oh,
you know what
shit.
I mean? Yeah. And I helped him pull these carpets, you know what I mean? So they said, well, what did you do with the carpets when you pulled them? He said, we threw them in the dumpster. I kept a couple, and he took them and showed them maybe some side job photos or whatever he'd done with these carpets, a few of them that weren't so bad, right?
Right.
And he says, well, did you give any away? He says, well, I did. Actually, I gave a couple of them to a guy named Jimmy Showalter. You know what I mean? Right. So then that's how they get the name. They find this guy and they arrest him. So what happens was they try to get the drugs off this guy. He's run out. They don't believe him. So they tie him up, duct tape his face, and shove him in a closet. They pull him out once in a while, beat him up with a hammer.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And he just doesn't have anything to give up. So, they think he's lying, shove him back in the closet, come back to find him dead.
Man.
So when the investigators end up talking to Jimmy seals his own fate because he's trying to remove himself and, from being the guy that did this,
Mm-hmm.
So he tells the cops, my buddy did it. And I didn't do any of this. All I did was help him put him in the closet. I'm the one that put the tape around his face. I didn't beat him up with a hammer. And they said, well, the tape's what killed him. He died of asphyxiation. So you just admitted to first-degree murder.
Man.
And he went to prison. I believe, so I'm 44 years old. I want to say Jimmy just got out. You know what I mean? So he served a full sentence of whatever they give you for killing somebody like that,
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. So they throw the guy in a carpet,
Yep.
They roll him up,
Yep.
and they take him and throw the rolled up carpet with the body in it off the Feather River Bridge. The Feather River Bridge in, I think it's Marysville, California.
Yeah.
And they're doing that at about 4 or 5 in the morning. Well, it sounds like a really good plan. You stop in the middle of the bridge, you throw a body over into the river, it's rolled up, it sinks, it sounds like it's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he had an old couple doing their morning jog, and they found it something quite odd to see a vehicle stop in the middle of the bridge.
Right.
So they just tuned in like, Channel 3, and they had all the information waiting for the police. They actually called the cops when the truck was still on the bridge.
Oh, wow.
We just seen somebody stop on a bridge and throw something into the water. So the police and the divers had recovered the body in the carpet before it went anywhere. They were caught before they were even started,
Wow. Wow.
So is there anything else that you wanted to add about Wallace, or anything that got you to come onto the podcast today?
I used to work at a sex shop in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's great.
That's a good one. So
Yeah.
you used to work at the sex shop in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
What was that like? You were selling arms and legs and...
Right. So it was a Tropicana adult bookstore, and it was 2 floors of sex goodies. Downstairs was all toys, magazines.
Sex goodies? Are we talking about like cupcakes and candy?
We're talking like,
When I'm fat. When you
dildos.
say goodies, I think
Yeah.
Twinkies and shit. So what's a sex goodie?
Dildos, vibrators, assorted torture devices,
Dang.
Every day I walked through there, I was like, whoa, what is
No,
that?
I'm vanilla, bro. I think I told myself with the reaction. Torture
Yeah.
devices. Keep those
Yeah.
jumper cables away from me.
Yeah. They had sex dolls. You name it.
Am I slacking now or what?
No.
You need some jumper cables?
I'm not into this shit. I'm good.
Upstairs they had.
Do not need a jump start. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. Upstairs they had a live action stage, and then a full movie screen theater, and 200 private booths, and we rented movies.
So they all man.
Wow.
See, I don't understand this shit.
That's weird.
No, listen. Hey, what he's talking
How
about.
dirty them boots were.
No. What is wrong with America, man? What is wrong with man? Who the hell raised you, dude?
It was crazy.
Who the hell raised you, man? If you are going into one of them damn theaters, playing with your little wiener
Go home.
in public, bro, and if you're walking out of that theater and the other dude, like the light comes on, right? Like, doosh, you know what I mean? Like everybody got to go home now.
Right.
Is there like 30 dudes? It's just like, I was looking for my keys. I just, what the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if they're down there around 40,
you know
you'll
what I'm
love
saying?
it,
Oh
that's
my
for sure.
God, bro.
Yeah.
Like, can I get extra butter on my popcorn? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy scene. I worked the midnight to 6 in the morning shift.
Damn. I bet that was the worst time. Too.
So there is people waiting for midnight to come like a little
It's the best
little
time. Nobody's
vampire
awake.
to
Like
sneak out. and
nobody
get stuff
normal's
up.
awake. Everybody weird's awake at that time.
Well,
So
it's
that's
Vegas.
the best
The
time.
town never
Right.
sleeps.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh well, I guess it is cheaper than one of them overpriced
Right.
whores out in Vegas. You know what I mean?
And they
You
got
see
their
the
own
cards
clique
laying on
going
the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I mean, holy hell.
Yeah. They had their own little clique going on. Certain days, certain people would be in, And my first day there, they're like, so I'm working upstairs, and you would give them a ticket to get in the theater. That way, if they came out to get lube or use the bathroom, they could show you and get,
Oh
get
my
back in,
fucking
right?
god!
Oh my God.
So
I did not work there, bro. Let me tell you right fucking now, bro. I'm telling you, that would be a mid-shift quit for my ass, bro. Like, for real.
It was crazy.
You
It
know,
was crazy. Yeah.
Oh man, bro. Like, I definitely read the
I
job
would get
out.
told that those are a part of my job duties, and I'd be like,
Dude,
Bye.
sometimes you just think you can. You know what I mean?
I would
worked at
rather be a
hotel.
janitor.
I worked at a fucking hotel one time, and I thought I could do that. I mean, yeah, hotel. Who gives a shit, right?
That shit's hard.
What is wrong with people wiping their ass with the comforter?
Yeah.
Literally, dude.
People can't clean
I worked
their
at,
ass.
and it's funny you said Whitefish because Whitefish, Montana, one of them hotels there. If there's only one, then that's the one. But either way, that's where I got a job when I moved to Whitefish, Montana. I was a hotel maid for one day. When I first got there, the lady's explaining it to us, here's some gloves, here's this and here's that. Well, then we get to the room and those gloves are gone, And this lady is yanking these sheets and scrubbing this toilet and all with her bare freaking hands, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm just not built like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not built like that.
It's rough.
So I'm like, hey, where's the gloves? And she says, we're out, but that don't stop us here. You grab some blankets. And I started to fall for it, and I went to go pick the blankets up, and I seen what the hell happened. It looked like somebody microwaved a chocolate donut in the blanket.
It's
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, bro?
bad.
I said, no, look at this blanket, man. And she said, what? And she snatched the blanket up with no hand, with no gloves. And I knew right then and there, like, I'm not going to make the cut, man. You guys are built like rock around here, boy. I can't hang out, you know?
I did that shit for like 8 months at those hotels up there, and it was rough. It was rough.
Yeah.
Well, give us something to give us a step out. Is there a shout out you want to make? Is there anybody you want to say hi to? Anything last you want to put a last comment in there?
No, not really. Other than Spokane, learn how to drive. You're horrendous. Read a book. You know, watch a video.
I
Right.
can thank you for that shout out,
Yeah.
man. That comes
Hey,
from the
man.
bottom of my heart.
They can't merge. There's no blinkers. You know, they have
Literally.
those auto lights on now.
Yeah.
So their damn tail lights aren't even on. They'll
Yeah.
be bopping down the road.
What's your
Yeah.
favorite thing about Spokane?
My favorite thing?
Favorite thing about Spokane?
The parks.
You love the parks.
I
There
do
is a
love
lot
the
of parks, and they do maintain the parks here in Spokane.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
honestly say that.
Yeah.
Me and my wife have been to the rinky-dinkest, smallest park.
Mm-hmm.
Super clean.
Right.
Super clean.
And you
Right.
go to the hugest, biggest park. Super clean.
Super
Right.
clean.
You know what I mean? So, man, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
shout out for Spokane.
Yeah.
What is? And I think you already said it. I think it's the driving is the one thing you hate the worst, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
What's a restaurant that you would suggest for anybody visiting the area? Something that you enjoy. Don't say Dick's. Do not go to Dick's.
Please do not.
You know, it's not the same
It's
anymore.
horrible.
I hear that all the time, and I'm gonna just
Disgusting.
accept that as an answer.
Mhm.
You know, because some things do change, right? So I guess Dick's was the spot back in the day. Dick's is Dick's and balls now.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's not good.
Right.
It's
So
not
bad.
good.
I go to the Union Tavern once in a while. That's a
Yeah.
good place. Good beers, good bar food. Yeah.
Giving the shout out to the Unique Tavern in Spokane, Washington.
Yep.
Right on.
Yep. Yep.
Well, Ken, I want to appreciate you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
It really turned into something that I wasn't expecting. You got some good stories, you know what I
For
mean?
sure.
And that's why we do the podcast, and just kind of bringing a little bit of listening information, something entertaining to the viewers, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything
it was
you'd like
cool.
to close out with, Mom?
Oh, just thank you for coming to the show and
Yeah.
sharing your stories with us.
It was cool.
Pretty
Had a good time.
interesting.
Right on. Ken. Yeah. If you move to any houses from now on, man, and you smell
Let us
anything,
know.
Right?
Right on, you guys. Well, once again, if you like what you've seen and you'd like to see it again, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when we're doing our next episode. We love interviewing people like Ken with interesting stories, and we hope you guys like listening to them on the one, the only Tattoo Podcast, Interviews.
See ya.
See ya.